jacket.
Hey!
Greetings, hello, hi everybody, and welcome to this edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I'm Daniel Pineda.
And my name's Adele Quo.
Here we go with another show. This one somewhere around, gee whiz, the latter part of September.
No more summer?
First Burr month.
Fall.
Well, the 80s are back,
Around
so
the
we've
corner.
got a
80s,
little late summer rolling in here, so we hope you're enjoying that.
No
and,
more rain.
Maybe the rain is over for
Over.
a while.
no.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, Hurricane Florence.
Holy fannoli. Well, we hope that holds
We
for
hope.
a while and we get a little warm weather here to dry things out. News and Community Bulletin Board. Adele Quo is here with another installment of
It's
easy being green.
Indeed it is. CBB, as I mentioned. Denise has a roll in. She's talking about MacBeth and South Pacific tonight, our News for Seniors segment. And then Miriam Gennari and her other installment of her Sustainable Scoop.
We can't forget
That's
that, right?
our show, but before we begin, social media reminder time from Senor Pineda.
Absolutely, Mr. Nolan. You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our very own YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1. Have does a great job in updating that. Also, we can't forget facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News, and also on the radio.
Also on the radio at 96.7 WERA LPFM. Check us out.
Checked it out.
We're in the airwaves right there. Okay. Thank you. Gracias, Senor Pineda. Here we go with the
Absolutely.
first of our news items. Well, Arlingtonians got a lucky break last weekend when Hurricane Florence took a turn westward instead of barreling up the East Coast. However, we might not be so lucky next time. And with that in mind, here's a reminder that September 21st is the deadline to register for Arlington's first disaster relief trial. The disaster relief trial is a simulation of an actual disaster in which participants use bicycles to aid in the response. The imaginary emergency is one that causes downed trees, blocked roads, rough terrain, flooding, and other obstacles. The object of the game or exercise is to provide emergency supplies, critical messages, medicine, and other essentials to victims who would be in need in case of an actual disaster. Once again, this event is scheduled for Saturday, September 29, beginning at 8 in the morning at TJ, Thomas Jefferson Middle School, at the upper field there. They're located at 125 South Old Glebe Road. So check it out. Registration and details are available at their website, and you can check that out at /emergency.arlingtonva.us, Arlington. Something like that. Daniel.
You practiced that right.
Almost.
Well, Craig, an organization known as Friends of the Arlington Public Library has decided to help rebuild a library on the island of Puerto Rico that was damaged by Hurricane Maria last year. Each year, the Friends of the Arlington Public Library donates $1 to a charitable organization for each person who completes their summer reading program. This year, the readers totaled 5,354, up 700 from last year. In addition, Arlington kids donated $15.17. The combined funds of $5,369 will be given to the Aguero Mexica Madero Library at the University of Puerto Rico to help restore the building and the collections inside. Every bit helps.
That's right. Every little bit counts, so keep them coming. Also on our news items on this edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News, according to county police, 2 men attempted to shoplift from a store in the fashion center at Pentagon City. They reportedly selected multiple pieces of merchandise and then concealed them on their persons and then left the store. Both men are being held at the county's detention center. Neither person is a resident of Arlington County. Daniel.
Well, back in the 1960s, organ transplants were big news. Today, they were fairly common. However, this story is a little different. The transplant is church organ that was originally located at the Arlington Presbyterian Church. The church building was recently demolished to make way for an affordable housing complex, but first, the church leaders decided to give away the church organ, which was still in good working order. Coincidentally, the Calvary Presbyterian Church in Alexandria learned that the old organ was beyond repair. As it turned out, the transplant organ was an excellent fit in its new surroundings, although the move itself took considerable effort. The transplanted organ is to be formally dedicated on Sunday, September the 23rd.
All right, Daniel, and we'll be back with CBB Community Bulletin Board right after we hear from Adele and another installment of
It's
Easy Being Green.
Here's
Wow, it
Adele.
sounds like we rehearsed it.
We done it
Almost
right.
just like we practiced it.
After
What do you
10
think
years,
about
right?
Welcome back to another It's Easy Being Green. My name is Adele Quo, and I'm here with Joe Tree Frog, our mascot. Gather your bike friends and combine the best of both worlds. Biking, a great way to enjoy the outdoors, and let's marvel at some of Arlington's most spectacular champion trees on a leisurely ride over mostly level paved pathways. Join the upcoming September 29 Champion Trees bike ride and help spread the word about the Champion Tree program. If you're not a tree hugger, this could be the biking event that changes your mind. Conservationists are still reeling from the destruction of 114-foot Virginia State champion Dawn Redwood last August. Despite the tree's Virginia State champion status and title, and despite it being located in a resource protection area, even despite the controversy and uproar swirling around the approved permit, this Dawn Redwood was torn down. First, learn about Arlington's most spectacular champion trees on this relaxing ride. The Champion Trees bike ride on Saturday, September 29th, is from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Meet at the Barcroft Sports and Fitness Community Center parking lot at 4200 South 4 Mile Run Drive, Arlington. For more details, you can email Barbara Farley at bfarley@arlingtonva.us or call 703-228-6535. Registration is required. You can go online and use activity number 612948-G, or feel free to call to register at 703-228-4747. Next, you can learn more about Arlington's tree programs that protect and save our mature and valuable trees. Since 1987, you can nominate a notable tree. This year's deadline for the notable tree is November 15th. In 2018, we had 28 winners. So there is a website for you to check them out online. I would Google notable trees and it should come up in Arlington, Virginia. Next, you also can nominate a specimen tree for special protection under the county's tree preservation ordinance. This due date is October 31st. That's coming up soon. Specimen trees are protected from removal or injury. Currently, there are 16 privately owned and 10 publicly owned specimen trees in Arlington. So once again, Google or try environment.arlingtonva.us and you can find it under specimen trees. There is also champion trees. They are the largest specimen of its species. You can nominate a county champion tree at any time. You can complete a form and send it in via regular mail or online. You can view Arlington's notable, specimen, and champion trees on any GIS map. Even more fun, you can nominate a tree. You have a voice and you can help. The recently destroyed champion Dawn Redwood should not be forgotten. This massive 227-inch stump remains, while a ghost Dawn Redwood whispers its poor treatment at the hands of humans. So remember, it's easy being green. I'm still talking about that Dawn Redwood.
I hear you. I believe it. That was a beautiful tree, and
It was.
something should have been done. But you know, the developers. Well, what are we going to do? They're just moving
Well, we're
forward.
not gonna
That's
forget
progress
it.
for you.
Yeah, you're still going to talk about it. Yep.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to
Here
invite
we
you to
go
the
now,
bike
as
ride.
promised. This edition of the Arlington Weekly News, our CBB Community Bulletin Board file. Well, Vincent van Gogh's painting, known as the Starry Night, has become an icon for our times. Join art historian Joan Hart for an in-depth exploration of this painting. This presentation will include an overview of Van Gogh's artistic development, as well as some fresh revelations about his painting and painting in general. And that's coming up Tuesday, September 25, from 1:30 to 3 in the afternoon at Lee Community and Senior Center and Park, located at 5722 Lee Highway. For more information, call Adriana Carr at this number, 703-228-0555. Daniel.
Well, Craig, yes, Virginia, there are still outdoor events to be enjoyed as we move into autumn. Here's one for kids aged 8 to 12. It's a nature photography hike. It's a chance to take pictures of nature, get some tips on photography, and learn about local wildlife. You can even take pictures of some of the live nature center animals. The event is BYOC, bring your own camera, and registration, well, it's $5. That's on Saturday, September the 29th from 3:30 to 5 p.m. at the Long Branch Nature Center at Glen Carlin Park. That's located at 625 South Carlin Springs Road. If you need any more information, just give them a call. That's at 703-228-6535.
And Daniel, also in CBB, well, as the weather begins to cool down a bit, it's time to break out the needles and do some knitting. Whether you're an experienced knitter or just beginning, come on down Wednesday to Knit and Purl Gathering. That's coming up Wednesday, September 26th from 7:30 to 8:30 at Cherrydale Branch Library. They're located at 2190 North Military Road. Experienced attendees should bring their own supplies. However, some needles and yarn may just be around there for beginners to practice. Best of all, the Cherrydale Knitting Club will be meeting every week all the way into December and possibly beyond. So get your needles out and practice knit one, purl two, or whatever. Cherrydale Branch Library. Daniel.
Gotta practice. Practice makes perfect,
Practice.
right, Mr. Nolan?
Absolutely.
Well, the critically acclaimed British novelist Zadie Smith will be appearing in a special author talk early next month. Miss Smith is known for her first novel, White Teeth, which was published in 2000 and later adapted for television. Since then, she has written other novels, including On Beauty, which won the Orange Prize for Fiction in 2006. Her most recent book, Feel Free, is a collection of essays on such topics as cultural events, politics, social networking, and global warming. That all takes place on Thursday, that's October the 4th from 7 to 9 p.m. That's at the Central Library. That's located at 1015 North Quincy Street. Please register at the library's website to help them create an accurate guest count. Got to get those numbers right, Mr. Nolan?
Right. Absolutely. Gracias, Senor Pineda. Well, we'll be back with news for seniors right after we hear from Denise and her thoughts on MacBeth and South Pacific. Here's Denise.
When you go to see Macbeth at Folger Theatre, forget everything you think you know about William Shakespeare's Scottish play. This is a restoration adaptation by William Davenant. Always eager to educate as well as entertain, Folger explains that when English Civil War began in 1642, Parliament closed the playhouses. Theaters did not reopen until 1660. During these years, artistic tastes had changed. Davenant revised Shakespeare's text and added Baroque music. Women were finally allowed to perform on stage, and the witches in this Macbeth actually sing and dance. Robert Richmond directs this bold version with venerated Folger veterans Ian Merrill Peakes as Macbeth and Kate Eastwood Norris as Lady Macbeth. It is still a story of their quest for political power and the many murders they must commit to achieve it. However, this retelling of the story is set in London's famed mental asylum, Bedlam. The clanking of gates and turning of keys punctuate the horrors of the story. Lady Macduff has a scene with Lady Macbeth, and her expanded role increases our empathy when she and her children are slain. The three witches, one of whom is played by a man, still deliver the prophecies that stimulate Macbeth's lust to be king, but they also serve to lend a bit of comic relief to the gruesomeness of this tale. At first glance, they look like something out of Hocus Pocus, rather than the three old hags we are more used to seeing. The music director, Robert Eisenstein, the Folger consort, and the chamber musicians add a lush new dimension to the play. I can only imagine how much the concert could add to all the Shakespearean plays that featured dancing and masked balls. Scenic designer Tony Chiswick played up the Bedlam aspect of the setting, while Mariah and Zaldo Hale's costume design evoked both regal and grunge aspects of the characters. The sound and lighting design made you feel totally enveloped by the stifling environment of the asylum. This restoration adaptation is unique and remarkable, as only Folger could stage it. The limited run of Macbeth ends on September 23rd. Enjoy being transported back to the 17th century. The first production of the 81st season at the Olney Theatre Center is South Pacific, the captivating musical by one of the most celebrated writing teams in musical theater history, Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein. Based on the book Tales of the South Pacific by James Michener, the music is filled with delightful songs that have become American standards. It is a love story of a couple who meet on an island in the South Pacific where American military troops are fighting the Japanese. A young nurse from Little Rock, Arkansas, has fallen in love with an expatriated French plantation owner who confesses to her that he fled France because he killed a man. She seems to easily accept this flaw, but her love for him is almost derailed when her prejudice makes it hard to accept that he is fathered biracial children with a now-deceased Polynesian woman. Alan Moroka directs Jessica Lauren Ball as the perky ensign Nellie Forbush, who quickly falls in love with William Michaels as the mature and dashing Emile de Becque. He sings of his love for her in Some Enchanted Evening. When she meets his children, Nellie decides, I'm going to wash that man right out of my hair. And when he thinks he has lost her love, he recalls that this nearly was mine. These songs, as well as those of the engaging supporting cast, with colorful characters like Bloody Mary and Luther Billis, are impressively performed. The look of the South Pacific is effectively captured by scenic designer Paige Hathaway, with bamboo and batik tapa cloth that make up the main drape as well as the backdrops. Costume designer Ivania Stack had to churn out a lot of military costumes for most of the men in the cast, but she made Emile look absolutely swoon-worthy. I would have liked to see Nellie in beachy wear that had more of a fabulous 40s vibe than the red two-piece costume she wore, but it did link her to the romantic red floral offerings from Emile. South Pacific continues at Olney Theatre Center through October 7th, and it's a thoroughly delightful show. And for those of you who wish you could spend the whole evening just listening to William Michaels' rich baritone voice, there is good news. On October 7th, he's performing Broadway in concert in the same theater. I'm Denise Pringle. Now back to the news desk.
Thanks, Denise.
Thank you, Denise.
And her thoughts on Macbeth and South Pacific.
You got it right.
I think she liked it.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I
Here we
hope
go.
so.
Moving right along in this edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. As promised, here we go now with our News for Seniors segment, Part 1. Several county agencies will be represented at the annual Senior Expo to be held later this month at the Springfield Town Center. This is the expo that was previously held at the Ballston Mall until all the construction began down there for renovation. The expo will feature a wide variety of exhibitors of interest to seniors and their families, plus health screenings, flu shots, entertainment, giveaways, and a whole lot more. The expo is free to attend, so mark your calendars for the Senior Expo coming up Sunday, September 30, from noon to 4 p.m. at Springfield Town Center. More information is available at this number, 301-949-9766. Daniel.
It's an expo, so it's got to be huge.
It's an
right?
expo, Senior Expo. Go.
Well, the last days of competition in the 2018 Northern Virginia Senior Olympics will include events to be held in Arlington. There will be 3 days of pickleball at the Thomas Jefferson Community Center, canasta games at the Jefferson Retirement Community, and one of NVSO's new events this year, croquet, at the Walter Reed Senior Center. All events are open to the public. Pickleball goes from Monday, September the 24th through Wednesday, September the 25th at 9 a.m. at the Thomas Jefferson Community Center. That's located at 3501 South 2nd Street. Canasta is on Monday, September the 24th at 1 p.m. at the Thomas Jefferson Community Senior Center, 900 North Taylor Street. Croquet is on Tuesday, September the 25th at 10 a.m. at the Walter Reed Senior Center, located at 2909 South 16th Street. Competition results are available at the website nvso.us. For more information, just give them a call at 703-228-4756.
And also, in news for seniors, Daniel, National Park Service Ranger Kevin Patty will lead a group of seniors on a 2-mile hike from Fort Ethan Allen to Fort Marcy to view vestiges of earthworks from a series of forts that were built in Arlington during the Civil War. The hike will follow unpaved trails, hills, and it will also cross a stream, so seniors are advised to dress appropriately. The group will leave on Friday, September 28 at 9:30 in the morning from Madison Community Center. They're located at 3829 North Stafford Street. For more information and registration, give them a call at this number, 703-228-5310. Daniel.
Well, Arlington County has 5 sister cities, including Aachen, Germany. Aachen, sorry. How do you pronounce that next one?
Thank you.
Coacan, Mexico, Ivano-Frankivsk, Ukraine, Rome, France, and San Miguel, El Salvador. Malcolm Phillips is the chair of the Arlington Sister City Association, who will provide an overview of the association's work on Wednesday, September the 26th at 2 p.m. at the Aurora Hills Community and Senior Center, located at 735 South 18th Street. If you need any more information, give them a call at 703-228-5722, and there will be a quiz with those names. Those are certainly brutal names.
Ivano Frankivsk, Ukraine.
Take 5.
We've been working on
take
that.
a million.
We still haven't gotten it right. And finally, I think this is finally in our News for Seniors segment, Arlington Mill Senior Center is hosting a special performance by the Harmony Heritage Singers, who sing in classic barbershop quartet style. That's coming up Wednesday, September 26 at 11 in the AM portion of the day at 909 South Dinwiddie Street. More information and registration and all that good stuff is available at this number on your screen there and in your ear now, 703-228-7369. And as always, thanks to Judy Masabny of OSAP, Office of Senior Adult Programs.
Thank you, Judy,
for helping us out with these announcements. We appreciate it. Thanks, Judy. We'll be back with sign-off and bye-bye right after Miriam Gennari and another installment of her Sustainable Scoop. Here's Miriam.
Hi, and welcome to a special edition of the Sustainable Scoop right here from the Arlington County Fair. I have the pleasure of visiting with Chris at Rethink Energy to talk a little bit about energy consumption.
Hi, so my name's Chris Summers. I work on the county's energy team, and we're here today to let folks know how they can save energy, cut their energy bill, and have a lighter carbon footprint.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. So what are some of the techniques that you teach and educate people to do?
Well, one thing we're promoting here is the solar co-op. Now, everyone has probably thought about going solar, but it can be a daunting thing. It's expensive. So our co-op is really a way to get past those barriers. By being able to purchase solar as a group, folks can get it at between a 10 and 20% discounts. Then they'll also have the support of the group throughout the process. We've seen that as a really effective way to get folks to go solar.
That is fantastic. How many homeowners in Arlington have you reached with this program?
So there have been about 120 so far that have gone solar, and this current group, we have 100 folks signed up.
That's fantastic. Now, is every house appropriate for solar?
Well, what we want to look for are homes that have a good sunny roof. So you might have trees shading your home, and that's all right. They'll be saving energy through that shading, but they're not a great solar candidate. And then you want a nice south-facing portion of your roof, or east or west can work too. So the co-op actually looks at your roof through a digital satellite image and kind of identifies, are you a good solar candidate or not?
You brought up a good point. You're doing this as a community with other people. How is that a benefit?
Yeah, we find that folks really feel more at ease, being able to ask questions, knowing their neighbor did it. Maybe they feel competitive and they saw their neighbor had panels across the street and they wanted to do it. So I think, having that human element is a big part of it and makes people feel more at ease about it.
Being part of the in crowd, right?
Exactly. Got to keep up with the Joneses.
Now, here you brought some things for your display today. Can you tell me a little bit about what you brought?
Right, so we have what's called the Energy Lending Library, and folks can actually check out these items. So here we have a thermal camera, and that'll plug into your smartphone. And what that does is it lets you look into the walls or the ceiling of your home and identifies hot or cold spots. So there might be air leaks, there might be places you don't have adequate insulation, and that lets you kind of see those areas in your home.
Well, you're almost starting to do your own energy audit, right?
Pretty much, yeah. And it's these professionals used to have these for thousands of dollars, and you can check it out for free at the library.
Wow, that's fantastic. Chris, what else do you have?
Here we have a box of LED light bulbs. Now, LEDs we're seeing are a great way for folks to save energy. They've come down in price a lot, but there's lots of different options, and folks might get overwhelmed or want to try out a bulb first before they make the purchase. So what folks can do is they can check out this box of bulbs, and that shows you all the different options that you have, including the Edison ones, different shapes and sizes.
That's fascinating. So you're a decorator and you can meet about light bulbs.
Exactly.
And why do you think that this is such an important issue to talk about this day and age, but really here in Arlington?
Yeah, well, we find that, Arlingtonians want to save energy. They value keeping the environment clean and reducing emissions, but it also, will pay back in your reduced energy bills. So a lot of these things are a great investment. Light bulbs will often pay back within just a few months. So saving energy and saving the environment.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Chris, for the work you're doing. We're honored to have you here today. Keep up the good work.
Thanks a lot.
And I want to thank you for watching the Arlington Weekly News. This is Miriam Gennari. That's the Sustainable Scoop. Back to the news desk.
All right, Mama G, Miriam Gennari, our own
you, Miriam.
styrofoam
All right.
mom, and down there at the Arlington County Fair talking solar. Good stuff.
On the
Check it out.
Sustainable Scoop.
On the Sustainable
You can't miss
Scoop.
it every week. Mostly.
Well. Here we are once again at the end of the show, and we have, maybe 20 seconds for a wrap-up and bye-bye. Anything else to add before we go, folks?
I'm so sad that summer's almost over.
Summer's almost
we
over.
have a couple
We
more
got
days.
a mini heat wave coming up
Yeah,
here. For the
Indian
last
summer.
3 or 4 days. Maybe it'll warm up and we'll get some sunshine back and dry some of us out a bit here.
As long as we don't have rain, though.
All this rain,
don't
we've been
think we
having
should
rain,
write
rain,
it off
rain,
yet.
rain, rain. So looking forward to the sun. And thanks to our crew, Camera and Paul and Jeff.
Yeah, we can't forget
Everybody
Paul
back there in the
and his
control
jokes,
room.
right?
Yeah.
Did you hear the one about the nun? Never mind.
Oh, don't.
No, we're not going to go there tonight. So
That's Paul.
that's it for this September 1920th edition of the Arlington Weekly News. We thank you for joining us, and next week, if you're out there, we'll be back here and we'll try it all again. Have a safe week. Bye-bye.
Bye.